Stephen here. Happy Friday evening. Welcome back to my couch. I spend a lot of time on the couch. As Homer once said in an episode of The Simpsons. Of course, open to misinterpretation. I spent a lot of time on the psychiatrist's couch. I bet you got that anyway. Smoking once again my meerschaum. Oh, love this pipe. But why, you ask yourselves, why, Stephen, are you smoking an unfiltered pipe again? Can't stop myself. But what I have got in it, at the bottom of the bowl, some filter pads. They're basically little moulded bits of chalk clay. Probably can't get it open now because of my fat fingers. Here we go. No, I can't get it open. There we go. As you can see, they're tapered. So sort of bottom of the bowl shaped. Flat on top, they've got 4 ridges on, so that the edges don't sit flush against the edge of the bowl, which of course will prevent you drawing completely. And the idea is that the smoke from your bowl of tobacco is drawn around that on its way up the hole and up into your mouth. And being very highly absorbent chalk clay, it absorbs moisture and some tar, and enables you to smoke, if you are like me, someone that smokes a filtered pipe. Supposedly it enables you to smoke an unfiltered pipe. I have to say they work very well. The only drawback is dropping it into the bowl, it always turns upside down. So I thought, oh, I'm no dummy. I'll drop it in upside down and it will turn the right way up. Does it? So, to me at least, you have to do a fair amount of jiggling around to get the thing to sit the right way up in the bowl. But once it's there, you can use them for several smokes apparently. And I've also read that you can revive them because it's clay. So like a clay pipe, once it's become saturated with all the gunk, you can stick them in a real fire, which I'm fortunate that I have, or you can stick them in a very, very hot oven, and it burns off all the impurities and you're just left with the clay again. Now, they're dirt cheap. There's no need to do that. They're about 50 pence a packet of 10, but I won't throw something away if it can be reused. So expect me to be toasting them in the real fire later this year. But so far I'm very impressed with them. I did buy the Nording keystones. Have I got the bag here? No, it's somewhere or other. Little bits of volcanic clay, and they're made for a Nording system pipe, but you can drop a dozen of them or so in the bottom of a bowl. Once again, highly absorbent volcanic clay serves the same purpose, but I found they didn't actually work that well, but so far I'm impressed with these. If it means I can smoke my lovely pipe, I'm happy. Back on the still cider. I don't know what's happening to my local supermarket. Yeah, my beloved Abbott Ale. First of all, they stopped selling my Wadworth 6X, which is my favourite. Now my Abbott Ale has gone west as well. Cheers, happy Friday. I think they're trying to stop me drinking. Many people have tried, many people have failed. Oh. I've lost my tamper. Any road up. Here's one. Only tapped it a moment ago. God, Bennett. I'm losing my marbles, let alone my tamper. In the pipe, I'm smoking some of Beerbeard's Buggeration blend, the aromatic version, the smaller jar of the ones I showed the other day. So this has got some 4 noggins version of 4 noggins version of Hobbit's Weed, which is a cherry blend, and McLellan's 3 Cherry, which is another cherry blend, and it's got some McLellan's Mocha Black, which I thought would complement it, and some Orlick either club mixture or mellow mixture. So it's basically cherry, mocha mashup. It's not actually that bad. What I'm listening to is one of my favourite albums of these days. Iris DeMent, Lifeline. It is Lifeline. Yeah, Lifeline. This is the album where she sings gospel songs that she learned from her mother, at her mother's knee, if you like. Sort of southern gospel songs. Said many times, I have no faith, but I love this music. And this was the song that first turned me on to Iris DeMent. Because it's played over the closing credits of the Coen Brothers version of True Grit, which is a great film. Even if you can't understand what Jeff Bridges is saying as Rooster Cogburn, have to have the subtitles on. Well, great film, great song. I wish I knew the name of the actress that played Matty. I can't, but she was fantastic. And when I first watched it and I heard this over the credits, it really got me right there. But there was also a certain familiarity to it, which I didn't recognise at the time. I loved it, but I didn't know exactly why. Hold on, I'm going to refresh my palate. And it was only later that I realised, when I watched it, another film that I really love, that I've watched many times over the years. Anyone ever seen The Night of the Hunter? Directed by Charles Lawton, the only film he ever directed. He was a great actor, but the only film he ever directed was The Night of the Hunter. And it had Robert Mitchum and, was it Lillian Gish? I can't remember. But Robert Mitchum played the preacher. The struggle between love and hate. One of creepiest characters you've ever seen on film. Robert Mitchum played him so well. And when he was hunting the children downriver, they couldn't see him but they could hear him, and Leaning on the Everlasting Arm was the song that he was singing. Released 1955, the year of my birth. But based on a book that was, I can't remember the name of the author, that was published 2 years before, but I've read the book. It's well worth reading the book too. The Night of the Hunter. Oh, how are we all doing? I've got no real purpose to this video other than the fact I'm so bored. So lonely and bored. That's why I'm speaking to you. Be catching up on a few vids. Glad to see things might be looking up for the Peaches. Let's hope so. But at least they know that everyone's behind them. Watched Philo Stein, which I'm going to keep a close eye on, because I have it in mind to try vaping. I don't know how many of you have tried it. I keep putting it off, but I think I will give it a go. And Phil has just bought himself off Amazon a vaping kit, and he's said he's going to do a review of it fairly soon. So I'm looking out for that. I've mentioned before that I mean, there are various studies into the effect, the positive impact that nicotine can have on depression. So I snuff and I smoke the pipe, but I'm thinking of checking out the vaping as well. Won't replace this, but it'll be an addition to it, and something that I'm definitely want to try without spending too much money in case I don't like it. I mean, talking of nicotine, I've been looking for strong nicotine tobaccos recently, with that end in mind, whether it can have an impact on my brain box. And I bought a couple. One of them was based on a review by Token Tommy. Gareth Hogarth's Bird's Eye. Gareth Hogarth's Dark Bird's Eye. I bought that and some McBaron Old Dark Fired. Now, I wasn't going to go straight into them, I decided to jar them. So I went and bought a couple of Kilner jars, and when they arrived on Tuesday or Wednesday, I jarred them up, but couldn't resist it. Now the Old Dark Fired I've left in the jar, but tonight I got the Old Dark Bird's Eye out. Cold and bad. I didn't actually enjoy the smoke that much. It was very harsh and bitey, so I'm hoping it will mellow down in the jar. But the nicotine, so the top of my head went and was floating about a foot above. It was a big hit. So I'm going to be very, very careful with that. But I'm hoping that keeping it in a jar and that and the Old Dark Fired will mellow them down. I've never really jarred tobacco. I'm a piper on a budget. What I buy, I smoke. I can't sort of buy stuff to sell or buy stuff to stick in a jar and leave it for months. Simply don't have the money. But these ones are going to leave for a few weeks at least and make do with what I've got. Buggeration arrow and buggeration non-arrow. And I see that we're up to about 15 minutes, so I better call a halt. There were some other things I was going to say, but I might save them. I haven't seen much of my girls recently. My eldest hasn't stayed with me for 3 weeks. My youngest came back after a 2-week absence and stayed with me for 3 nights, but she's now gone off. They're working, they're doing their business, you know. So I've got a lot of time on my hands. So I'm putting this one up tonight, and I think it's pretty likely I'll put another one up tomorrow. And you lucky people. Tommy trimmed a reference there for the ancient Brits. I will probably put another one up on Sunday. In the meantime, if you don't know Iris DeMent, please do check her out. I love this music. It almost makes me wish I was religious. But that's another matter. I'm going to go off and find something to watch on the box. I'm thinking of looking up on Netflix a film I've never seen called Dead Man Walking. Susan Sarandon and Sean Penn. Never seen it. But recently discovered it, so I might check out where I can watch it. In the meantime, happy Friday. I'm going to be talking to you tomorrow, without doubt. So behave yourselves till then. Ta-da!